What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? My name is Matthew Zazi, owner of B&B Marketing. This is my free course, right, for full-time photographers to show you guys how to get, hopefully, my goal with this course is to get you, those 10 higher paying clients within the next 90 days. This is, just trying to give as much value as possible so that way you can go out, take action, start getting those clients. The most important thing in this course is that you take action, right? I could give you everything. I give you the blueprint. I could tell you what to do, but I can't do it for you, right? So the goal with this course is, and the goal with even this part itself is just to show you that it is me talking. It's nobody else. It's not some AI or anything like that. And that you really do sit down, take the time to implement this course, take action, and do the things required to start getting those clients. So I'm not going to show my face for the rest of the course because I want you to focus on what's on the screen and the words and the content itself. So yeah, but without further ado, let's get. All right, so in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how I went from struggling full-time photographer to consistent 8K plus months, and how you can do the same thing without being glued to your phone all day, relying on referrals, or guessing what to post, right? And I'm going to show you exactly in this course, right, the step-by-step process on how you can do it too. I'm going to be giving away all the details and all the information that a lot of these gurus are charging thousands of dollars for, right? Gurus who are claiming and promising to give you the best information, but are actually like literally just gatekeeping, right? Because they want you to buy their, expensive, whatever, mentorship or course. My goal with this is to literally give it all away so that way you can do it on your own and that you don't even need me, right? That's the whole goal with this course. So I'm actually going to be giving everything in this video, so you'll never need to watch another video again on building a consistent and predictable full-time photography business. I want to be extremely clear on who this course is for, right? If this is for any full-time photographers in the US and Europe, age 21 to 45, offering portrait-based photography, for example, graduation photos, brandings, weddings, birthdays, maternities, couples, engagements, any portrait-based photography, right? So if that's you, then this video, I guarantee you, will be among one of the most valuable videos that you'll watch this year. Now, why is this video important? Why are these systems important? Why is all the pillars and the modules and everything that I'm going to go over, why is it important, right? The main reason is because without a proven system, a lot of photographers stay stuck with inconsistent bookings, relying on luck or referrals, or waiting for random viral moments that never come, right? So what this will enable you to do is it will give you a predictable, repeatable, and step-by-step machine that brings in these higher paying clients for you every single month without guessing, without randomly posting, without throwing things at the wall and seeing what works, or without being ghosted by potential clients whenever you drop the price in the direct messages, right? You're finally going to be able to break out of survival mode and step into stability, consistent income, higher quality clients, and charging what you deserve, and the confidence to, if you do work a job right now, to leave your job or scale your business without the fear of dry seasons. Here's some real examples I want to go over. Not the only examples I had, as you're going to see in the course, but Bryce installed the system and went from barely booking 1 to 2 shoots a month to 12 clients in his first 30 days without running ads or lowering his prices. Keela used the content plus DM strategy system and landed a $2,200 client in her first 3 weeks after months of struggling to get anyone to even inquire. And then example 3, Charles went from disorganized and inconsistent to making $3,000 in just 10 days simply by implementing the positioning plus story to selling framework that I'm going to share with you in this course, right? So without further ado, let's get into the 6 pillars of B&B marketing. And B&B marketing, by the way, stands for brand, nurture, and book. So you brand yourself, you nurture the leads that come to your brand, and then you book. All right, so pillar 1, positioning and profile optimization. So what this step is, this is gonna create a single crystal clear value proposition and IG profile that tells your ideal client exactly who you are, who you serve, and what result you deliver, all in under 3 seconds. This is gonna be the difference in if someone decides to follow you or just scroll past your page, right? If they don't know who you serve or what exactly you do or how you can help them, because let's be real, at the end of the day, all people care about is how you can help them. Let's be real. You only care about how I can help. You don't really care about anything else, right? So, and that's completely fine. That's just human nature. So we're going to use that to our advantage and be able to get the most amount of people interested in what we do and how we can help them as possible, right? This is critical because if your profile is unclear, people just leave, right? And they can't buy from you if they don't like you, if they don't follow you, if they don't follow your content, if they don't trust you at all. So clarity increases conversion from profile view to DM to booked client, right? So what happens if you skip it? You're going to keep getting these low quality inquiries, the quote unquote wrong clients. You're going to keep being ghosted, even if you have good content. If you have, though, you could have the best content in the world, but if people don't know who you help or how you help them, it's not going to matter, right? So I'm going to go into 2 examples here. So this is a person, a Jersey photographer. I blacked out the name because, again, it doesn't matter, but I just wanted to use their profile as an example. So their name wasn't bad. It was just first name, last name, photo, shots, visuals, anything like that is fine. Name, vertical bar, Jersey photographer. That's good. They get points for that. That's how first line, who are you? Where are you based? Right. Next line, the first line, I always prefer to do either accomplishment or an achievement. So you could do, for me, I would do like 8+ years of experience or over plus 500 happy, satisfied clients, right? So for you, you could do the same thing. Here, creative director / vertical bar content creator, that doesn't really help his case because it's like, are you a photographer? Are you a creative director? Are you a content creator? What credibility do you have? Like, literally anybody could put this in their bio. There's absolutely no credibility to that, right? So with the first line, the way I put it, it establishes instant credibility. Second line, I like doing a who you help, right? Who you serve. So if you want to look over at Aquila's, weddings, corporate events, graduations. I just like to do the 1, 2, 3, 4, that like top niches that you serve. Obviously, the less the better, but 3 or 4 max. Whoever you serve the best, put that right there in that format so people know, okay, this person could help me with this shoot in the future. This person could help me do that in the future, right? Next line, I like to do a call to action. People don't care what camera you use, to be honest with you. They really just don't care. But next line should be a call to action, like DM XYZ word to book. So you could be like DM name to book or click the link in bio for more information, something like that. And then he put New Jersey twice, so that's just irrelevant and it's wasting space. You want everything to be optimized and you don't want to have any wasted space or fluff in your bio, right? Now let's move over to Aquila. I didn't even go over the profile picture as well. You always want to have a clear, they lose points for this. You always want to have a clear profile picture so that way people know who you are. People start trusting you instantly. They know what you look like, and it's not going to be a surprise if you end up getting on a call with them or, oh, I thought you were going to look like this. I thought you were going to look like that. That's not what you want to have. You want people to just know what you look like and where you are. So Aquila, first name, last name, photographer in South Carolina. Boom. Who she is, where she's at. Perfect. 3 professional years of photography experience. Perfect. Right? Weddings, corporate events, graduations. Who she serves, right there, clear. DM me photo to learn more. Perfect. And then she has a nice little her website in her website section, right? So that's good. And then next we're gonna get into highlights. So I like to keep it 3, 4, 5 highlights max, right? First one, testimonials, right? Testimonials are the most important thing. Whenever you're about to buy something, you always look at, oh, what are people talking about this? What are people saying? Should I do this? Right? Everyone's done that before, right? So with the testimonial section, this is going to increase your conversion so much because it sees that people buy things that other people like, essentially, right? So if they see that people like you, they're going to be way, way, way more likely to book with you. If you have a bunch of bad reviews, that's why these like star systems even exist. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars, right? People rarely go to 1-star restaurants. 5-star restaurants have all the motion because people like what other people like, right? If other people have a good experience there, you're more likely to have a good experience there, right? But if people are saying bad and negative things about this business or this franchise or whatever, then they're going to be less likely to go. So you should talk. I always tell people to talk to the last 10 clients that they spoke to if you're not already doing this, and just ask for a video or a text message testimonial. It's nice to have a good mix. You could just do one or the other, and then just post them all in your story. Get a nice little highlight here, and then you should be good. Blank. Then next, like you could do my travel life, right? So what do you do outside of work? are you just or are you just like people want to see that you're not just a robot that holds a camera, right? That you have a life outside of this. It'll enable people to trust you more, and you just connect with you on a more human level as well. And then if you also want to do like a portfolio section, so people want to like if you want to post the same photos that you post on your portfolio and your highlights, that's cool too. People will be able to look through that and just be able to get a grasp for the kind of work that you do, and it'll enable them to envision them in your work, if that makes sense, right? So you might also be thinking like, I don't want to niche down, right? I want to shoot everything, right? But niching doesn't limit you. It just clarifies who exactly it is that you attract. I always see videos like, oh, I'm a photographer with no niche. I'm a photographer that does this and that. But like, if you want to make money, like you have to sort of serve one or two audiences. If you want to not have a niche, if you want to do landscapes and animal and nature and all that fun stuff, that's fine. But it's going to be a lot harder to make money that way, right? You can serve others, but the market, but you market to buyers who pay consistently. Like, you start narrow, and then you can always expand into those later niches, right? If you want to start with this and then you want to jump into something else, that's totally fine. But all right, now on to pillar 2, offer and pricing structure. This is my favorite part, and I advise you to take notes. You should be taking notes this whole time, but I advise you to really pay attention to this chapter, because this is the one that's going to be one of the reasons that you make more money, right? So what is the step, right? So this could be designing 2 or 3 clear packages, right? Entry, ideal, and premium. Obviously, you don't have to name them like that. If you want to, we're going to get into naming a little later, but we always like to do a 3-tiered package to make it as easy as possible for your potential customers to choose the package that is most valuable to them and makes you the most money, right? So these packages are gonna be able to communicate value, outcomes, and price anchors, so clients are gonna self-qualify themselves and buy with confidence. You're gonna be able to stop working with a lot of these tire kickers, a lot of these people who already had a budget and just came to nickel and dime you, right? And having these price ranges or these prices set in a certain way, you won't have to deal with those people anymore. So it's critical, because when you have confusing offers, you have low conversions, because people don't know. People don't really like your outcome. They see a lot of fluff. They say, how can this really help me? And then be less likely to not only book with you, but less likely to refer you to other people. And that's not what we want, right? So the right price structure stops the endless haggling, attracts clients who actually want results, not just discounts, right? What happens if you skip this? You're going to continue to get lowball offers, people asking if you could do this for free, if you could do that for free, clients who ghost, and just stress around each price conversation. So let's just get into it. So here's an example of what I used to do for graduation photos, right? So as you can see, let's just look at the price for right now. But so I did $449, $499, and then $899. So let me explain why, right? So when you have a pricing structure like this, so just look at the packages as well, right? So you see here, just looking at them, the amount of words themselves, right? So this one, you can see obviously doesn't have very much value. 1 hour, 1 outfit, 1 location, 10 to 25 photos. You get a vision board. You get 24/7 access from booking to closing, 5 to 10 day return. And then just looking at this, you can see there's so much more value, all for only $50 more, right? So a lot of the times I would get on these conversations, I'll be like, okay, I think this package, depending on everything that you told me, this one would be the best for you, right? 2 to 3 outfits, 2 to 3 locations, free teeth whitening, 2.5 hour time limit, 24 to 48 hour return, all that good stuff, all for only $499. And you don't know how many people told me like, wow, this is a great offer. That's what you want people to be telling you. Like, this is a great offer. Because when they say things like that, they're literally selling themselves on why they should book with you. You're barely going to get objections, because they're like, how could I say no to that? No other photographer is offering something that good. There's so much value. I get everything I want and more. There's bonuses and things like that, right? So some words of wisdom I would add, though, you want to clarify everything. So I used to have unlimited time, like no time limit. And then I took it away because I found that people were kind of taking advantage of that, and they were taking advantage of my time, essentially, right? So I had to cap it at 2.5 hour time limit, but that's more than enough time to visit all the locations, get all the outfit changes, and you still respect your client's time and their client respects your time, right? Another thing, you want to avoid just kind of throwing everything in there. So I used to just add a whole list of stuff, right? I used to have free teeth whitening. I mean, I still have it, but free prints and free this and that, and just to kind of stack the value. But when you do that, you sort of take away the opportunity for upsells as well, right? So let's go into this third package here. You can obviously see 4+ locations, 100 photos, no time limit, free teeth whitening, right? So you can present this offer as well if you feel like someone might go for it, or if you just want to get the gasp. But the gasp meaning like, oh, that's so expensive. So that way when they see this one, they're like, okay, that's not as bad, right? And then they're more likely to go for this one. But I wouldn't offer this unless you really think they may take it, or they may want to take it. I would show everyone this, just so when you show these packages as well, it's a lot. They see $900 and they're like, oh wait, 449. Okay, that's not as bad. I might go for that one instead. They're more likely to go for that one. But just know that the more you show people this one, someone might actually buy it. So make sure it's something that you can deliver on, right? So don't just add like a 30-second creative video and you don't know how to do video, right? Or don't just add free prints and you don't know how to print, right? So always make sure it's something that you can deliver on. Let's go to another example. So birthday bash, again, you see, so solar return package, $799. Like you show them that $800 for birthday pictures, and then you show them this one. Oh, only $349. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. Right. So this one, right, 1 to 2 outfit changes, 2 locations, 20 to 25 photos. You can include this if you have a studio or if you rent one. You can choose to bear the burden depending on how expensive it is. If you want them to pay for it, you can get them to pay for it. If you want them to have a better experience, you can pay for it. It really is depending on you and what you want to do. But just figure out if your margins are going to be good enough for you to front the cost. If not, probably get them to pay for it. Other than that, then you can add in your package. You can't. It's completely up to you. But again, look at like the price. See the pricing structure. Whichever one you want someone to pick, you have to adjust the price for that. So if I wanted people to pick this price more, I would make this one I'll probably make this one like $700 if I wanted people to pick this one more. But if you want people to pick this one more, then just make this one only $50 less. So that way they're like, for $50 more, I can get all this. I'll be kind of foolish to just pick this one. And it also takes away the optionality of like, I'm not gonna pick something, right? So there's always a minimum package. So it's like, okay, if I don't want this, then there's always this. Like, so they're like, that's still a bit too pricey. If there's still, you want to push them over the line, you just be like, okay, how about like, do you really care about all this stuff? They're like, no, not really. Okay, then how about this? Let's just do this one, and we can get started today, right? Send the deposit, sign up their contract. You can get started with that today. So here's a real life example of, so Rashad, I redid his prices and I helped him, sort of clear down on who he wanted, sort of buckle down on who he wanted to help. So he had no clear niche. He wasn't confident in his pricing, and he was getting really inconsistent inquiries. So we raised his prices, supposed to be raised, and became a lot more confident in his work and the value and he provide. And he made irresistible offers that his dream clients instantly saw the value, right? So let's look at this one. Just got connected with a guy, and in less than 2 minutes, he's ready to book me for a shoot before the end of next week. Contacted Sunday to do a movie shoot next week. This week, I'm working with a household name gospel artist. So guys, this is the power of a good offer, right? So literally, they see the offer, like, oh, this is for me. I need this. How could I say no to that? That's the power of a good offer. So result, people stop discounting him and lowballing. He literally told me on his onboarding call, he used to literally be seen as the chief photographer, and he doesn't want to do that anymore. So I was like, okay, we're going to fix that. So within these 30 days, he started working with his dream clients and overall made more money because, guys, the whole point of this course is to make more money, right? I want you to make more money. I don't want you to be broke, right? There's so many broke photographers out there. I don't want you to be one of them, right? That's not what we're here for, right? So, man, just got another booking for Sunday. Just booked a real estate shoot Monday on yesterday for Monday, right? Bro, you actually. All right, now on to pillar 3, the content system that attracts buyers, right? So I'm sure this is the reason you're here. We're gonna get into everything, any questions that you might have, everything like that. For what is good content, what content attracts clients, what content attracts your ideal clients, how to make it in as little time as possible. So that way you're not, spending hours. Oh, what should I post? Should I do this? Should I post that? This and that, right? We're gonna go over everything. Just be patient, take notes, right? So what is this step? What and why? So this is a repeatable content system built on 3 pillars, right? Authority, offer, and social proof, right? With caption formulas and formats that prompt DMs from buyers, right? So why is this critical? Your content must lead to action. Without buyer-focused content, you're going to get likes, but not bookings. Likes ain't cash, nor do they pay your bills. You don't know how many photographers I've spoken to. They have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 plus K followers, right? 60,000 followers, and they're still struggling for bookings. This is what happens if you skip this, because postings become random. Your engagement might rise, but your bookings won't. It doesn't matter if you have a million views on your content. If you get millions of views each month, if no one buys, it does not matter. I do not care. Like literally, it literally will not matter, right? So this module is going to fix that. So the 3 types of content every photographer needs. I like to do authority, personal, and client based. Treat your social media posting like a funnel. This can all come in the form of reels, carousels, and story posts. So everything that you post is going to attract a certain, I'm not going to even say an ideal client, it's going to attract a certain type of client. So you really want to be careful with everything that you're posting on your story, your carousels, and your reels, because it's going to attract your ideal buyer or not. It's going to attract somebody. So you want to make sure it's the right person, right? So I'm going to separate it in the top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel content, right? So top of funnel content, portfolio based. This is going to be content simply designed for getting views, right? So it's going to be all your trends, your catchy hooks, your viral songs, and your funny videos, right? So this is going to be the content that is simply designed to get the most amount of views. I wonder if I can even show you some good examples, right? So this is always the example that I like to show people. Let me see if I can find her Instagram. This is like, she does great top of funnel content, right? So, right, POV, you booked me for a father and son shoot, right? Super short, sweet, and simple. And social media really is it's not about reinventing the wheel. You should never feel like, there's nothing wrong with original ideas, right? Obviously, original ideas are good, but social media is all about what is already working. So if you see something already working, take that same framework and just apply it to your own videos. Use your own visuals, backdrops, behind the scenes content, right? And just post that yourself. That's how your ideal content will look. Literally, look, where can I book and do you travel? Literally, like throwing money at her because he posted a good video, the photographer versus the photos, right? Boom, showcasing her work. Super unique, great editing, great lighting. Obviously, that should be standard, right? But you can, no matter how much outreach you do or post ad or run ads or whatever, this is 100,000 people that saw her work for free off a 10-second video. Social media is king. And if you're not posting on social media in today's day and age, you're stupid. Obviously, respectfully, of course, but you need to be posting, and you need to be posting well, and you need to be posting content that makes sense for you and your buyers, right? So I'm a photographer who likes to work with color, right? 198,000, right? So just content. And there's another guy I really like. Let me see if I can get his name right. Zay shot it. Super, super good content. Right, so let's see. I had a video I really like that I like using as a good example. Where to go? This one. Look, setup versus the shot. Boom, simple. Right, probably took him less than 5 to 10 minutes to make that. 13,000 views, 13,000 potential clients, right? Obviously, not all of those people are going to book with you, but it doesn't matter. Like, if 1% of people, even if 1% of the people that saw you booked with you, 1% of 13,000 or 163,000 is always better than 1% of 5,000 or 1,000 or the 200 views you're probably getting, right? That's why this is the importance of top of funnel content, right? Simply just getting as many eyes as possible on your content. I'll call you back on clients calling, right? Probably took him less than 5 to 10 minutes to get all that together. 163,000 views, right? So okay, back to what we were talking about. So that's the point of top of funnel content, simply to get people onto your content, right? So middle of funnel examples, authority building, behind the scenes, shoot day vlog, setting up the shot, or educating your clients. This is going to be the content that builds your authority and gets people to trust you. So you can post. So yeah, top of funnel is cool. This is where, like, you have to start differentiating yourself. So top of funnel content is cool, but that's where you get the photographers that have a bunch of these followers and have a lot of engagement, but don't get bookings because people don't trust them. There's no authority. They don't like, they see them as a hobbyist and not a professional, and not someone that can fulfill on their vision. So that's why you need content like this. And I'm going to show you a good example of what that looks like. All right, so she was basically just telling a story about, like, the story behind a photo, right? That is Perfect. That is what's going to get people to see you as a human. It's going to be like, oh my gosh, she cares so much about her work, and she's being posted by Tatiana Eiley, and she's such a good storyteller. And this is going to make me want to follow her and remember her for later, for me to want to book her for whatever shoot I have next. That's a good example of middle of funnel content, right? Tell a story over one of your photos, right? Tell people how this happened, what happened, why did it happen, right? That's good middle of funnel content. So going back, that's the importance of middle funnel content. That's what's going to get people over that line to book with you and start getting people to trust you. Now, bottom of funnel content, conversion-based content. So this is literally where you have client testimonials. You're going to show people your booking process. You have to remember, okay, this is a good rule of thumb. The lower you get down in the funnel, the lower views you can expect, right? So a video that's meant for like a trend, or those videos I was showing in the beginning, obviously those videos have tens of thousands of views because they're meant to go viral. But as you go down the funnel, it's going to be more personalized and specialized towards your niche, right? So the views are going to start getting less, but your bookings are going to start increasing. And again, at the end of the day, that's all we care about. What pays the bills, what brings money into your business. So I'm going to show you a good example of a client testimonial reel in a second. Right, so this is a good one right here. 3 reasons you should book me. Just a replaying video. And then literally 3 reasons why they should book you. I'm not judgmental. Content that works for your needs. Reliable, fast delivery. There's another one I really liked. Mini BTS vlog is perfect, right? Perfect. Right. See how she's already singing his praises. Mini BTS vlog. First thing is a testimonial. So now when people look at his content and see that, okay, did I buy from this person? She's already singing his praises, like I said, right? So there's going to be no reason why people wouldn't want to book with this person. I would only just tell this person to just start posting more consistent. This is a current client of mine as well. But back to the presentation. Present. So here's what you're going to do for the caption, right? It could be a hook, 1-line story. You can put some value in there. You can use a CTA DM photo or link. I would say try to not use the CTA DM photo or something like that in all your captions, because people are going to kind of like, you want to build up that goodwill before you make any direct offers or direct asks. So literally you can just put a caption like, you can tell a little story. You can summarize what happened in the video. That's what I like to do. You can put some value or strategy, like this person did this. This is how we got them to this, or that nice little hook, right? That's what's going to build that goodwill and then get people to book with you later on. So create 2 booking posts per week on your story. This is where you're going to call out people and be like, hey, I'm looking for this amount of people to do this kind of shoot. You don't want to do it too much, but your stories are where you should sell. The stories are where you should sell, right? If you want to post on your feed like a direct offer, that's fine too, but your stories are meant for selling, because one, they disappear after 24 hours, and not it's not going to leave a sour taste in people's mouth, right? But when you do it on your feed, it stays there, and as people are going to be like are going to see it as more salesy. So when you do it on your story, it's a lot easier for people to engage with you, right? So use short reels, 15 to 30 seconds, showing before and after, behind the scenes with captions that tell the result. Use Instagram Edits app and CapCut for quick edits. And I'm going to sing Instagram Edits app praise for a second. You can find all the inspiration you need on the Instagram Edits app, right? That's where I find a lot of my inspiration. So you just go into once you download it, there's a bunch of tabs on the bottom, like 5. There's going to be one called Inspiration. Like literally scroll through that, like 20 minutes out of your day, just scroll, save any video that you think you might be able to turn into content for your business. And that's how you're going to be able to repurpose it. So and then speaking about repurposing, turning real copy into carousels and stories, and then saving CTAs in the highlights. So you can literally one photo shoot, you can get 5 to 6 different pieces of content from that. Not even more, like 10, 14 like pieces of content from a single photo shoot, right? If you just get creative and you're just, using all the BTS, if you have a plan in mind before you even go into that shoot, like, okay, I want to make this video, I want to do this and that with the BTS, I want to get these shots for myself, right? So that way it's a mutual exchange. Yeah, you're shooting them, but you're also getting content, right, for yourself. And that's exactly how you should be operating. So you want to look for posts with comments and DM replies, right? So once you find something that works, even if your reel gets 200 plus views than a previous video, spam that, right? Break down that video, see why it worked. What did people like about this? What's different about the hook? What did I say here that made people want to watch it more than these other videos, right? So once you find something that works, stick to it. Rinse, and repeat it until it's dry and it doesn't work anymore, right? So you want to also look for reels that get saves and shares from target clients. You can't tell who your clients are, but when they get saved and shared, that's a good sign because it shows people are not only sharing your content, but saving it to come back for later. So that's a good sign. And then weekly posting consistently, 3 posts, 1 to 3 stories minimum daily. So again, on your stories, you don't always want to sell. You want to post like lifestyle content and testimonials and, like a behind the scenes every now and then. If you're with a client, say, hey, I'm shooting this client, right? And get them to repost it so that way their friends see it. It's like a good ecosystem. You it's always a good rule of thumb, at least for me, to always have something up on my story. I never want to not have something on there. I always want to stay in the forefront of people's minds, right? So what to avoid? Posting only top of funnel content that doesn't relate to your offer. Like I said, that's how you're going to get a bunch of engagement, but no one's booking with you. And we want both, right? So again, you don't know how many times I've heard this. Oh, I want things to be perfect before I post. I can only post on certain days. I can only post at certain times. Guys, it doesn't matter. Good content is good content. And good content will be shown to people that need to see it. So it doesn't matter what time you post. Doesn't matter if it's perfect. Doesn't matter if it's this and that. Just post, and you're going to get better over time. Long captions with no CTAs. If you want to retell a story, that's fine, but you want to just keep it short and sweet, mainly. So client example, Bryce situation, he had really, really, really good photos, but he had no call to action. He was inconsistently posting, and he wasn't getting enough clients from his content, right? So he implemented the 3-pillar schedule, right? And the authority, trusting and all that, and used the caption format with direct CTAs. Results, his content turned into DMs and his DMs turned into booking. So his first post, thankfully took off, and then we posted this, not this specific one, but one just like this for, I think, lifestyle. And he got 5 clients from 1 story post. So this is the power of good content. This is the power of visibility. This is the power of social media marketing. Because again, 23,000 people, you could do outreach until your fingers bleed. You know how long it'll take you to outreach to 23,000 people, right? So that's the power of content. That's what I really like about it. And if done right and if done well, it can transform your life and your business. So without further ado, I hope that made sense. Before we even get to that, let me just talk to you about, some excuses that might be going through your head, right? So you might be thinking, I don't know how to make reels. I don't like being on camera, right? So you can use behind the scenes content, right? You can use client test shots. You can use carousel before and after, voiceovers, or even text-based reels. You don't really need to show your face to convert. Is it the most effective way? Probably not. Is it going to be a lot harder to get people to trust you? Probably. But you don't have to. But it would behoove you to show your face, right? I don't have time to create all this content. Take 2 hours out of your Sunday. Batch your content for the weekend, right? Find what you want to do. Use the Instagram Edits app to make it. You can put out 7 videos in 2 hours, and I know because not only have I done it, my clients are doing it, and then you can just schedule it for the whole week, right? And then you can just schedule two videos a day, or if you have a little free time, okay, I can be editing this video, I can be editing this one. Oh, that's a good idea. Let me write that down. Let me edit this, right? Start with 2 posts, 1 to 2 posts a day per week. And then over time, try and do more and more volume, because consistency will always be quality, right? But with consistency, your quality is going to get better. So it kind of helps each other, right? What if the content flops? It doesn't matter. Like, what does that even mean? Even if you get 100 views on your content, that's 100 people that saw it, 100 potential clients. If you were in a room with 100 people, like take your bedroom, put 100 people in there. You probably won't even be able to fit. That's 100 people that saw it, right? So, but if you want your content to be doing well, you need to be refining. You can be posting until kingdom come, but if you're not, looking at what's doing well and you're not refining your content. All right, so this is pillar 4, the DM plus outbound system. This is another one of my favorite modules, right? Because honestly, this module changed the trajectory of my business forever, right? So, and obviously no one wants to do outbound or reach out to people, and that's fine, but you have to realize that it sucks. It's gonna suck. Like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It sucks, but it sucks because it works. And I know it works for me, it works for my clients, it's worked for anyone, right? It's just law. If you reach out to a certain number of people a day, you will see results. Like, that's just how it works. But no one wants to do it. But if you do it, it's gonna change the trajectory of your business, right? How badly do you really want it? That's what's gonna separate the amateurs from the professionals, from the people who want it, from the people who really want it, right? So pay attention, take notes. We're gonna go over my personalized cold outreach, not even really cold, but like warm outreach script, and it's gonna show you everything that you need to know to get to where you want to get to, right? So this is going to be a two-part system, inbound and outbound DM, right? It's going to convert curious visitors, and outbound DM is going to reach those ideal clients who are more likely to buy. I'm going to include a script for qualification and booking. Why is this critical? Because DMs are where interest becomes a book client, right? Without a sort of system to reach out and get those people, you're going to waste time, get ghosted, or maybe say the wrong thing. And there's nothing wrong. If you just want to post content and wait for people to come to you, that's totally fine. If you just want to reach out to people and maybe not post content, that's fine too. But I truly believe the magic is when you post content and then you reach out to people. So when you post content and you reach out to people and you have something to point towards, or you have the credibility, you have the past clients, you have the testimonials, you have everything, you have the personality, you have everything that you can point towards, this is where the magic is going to happen, right? What's going to happen if you skip this? Clients are going to ghost you, haggle, you're going to miss high intent leads because one, don't ask for the sale, you don't know how to ask for the sale, right? So let's just go into my cold outreach script here. Okay, perfect. So welcome to the B. I'm going to attach this below, by the way. So you have your own version of it. Now, there isn't much to outreach. It does take a little bit of time to get consistent with it, but I like it because it puts more control in your hands when it comes to client acquisition, right? You can tweak what works and you can throw away what doesn't, but give yourself a little bit of time to get good at this, right? Don't just reach out, oh, man, I reached out to 20 people and none of them responded, or 3 of them liked it and didn't say anything. Like, okay, why did those 3 people respond? What did you do different with them, right? And everything is a volume game. So instead of reaching out to 20 people, reach out to 100 and see which one worked. See which ones worked, which ones responded, why they respond, what was so different about it, right? Tweak what works, throw away what doesn't. So this is gonna be the cold outreach method, right? So you're gonna slide in with your core offer and send a voice memo that goes something like this: hey, name, I saw that you also similarity, and I was wondering if anyone you know would be interested in getting their XYZ photos done. If you do, I currently have only 2 slots available, so please don't hesitate to reach out. So the reason I like this so much is because, one, you say their name, it's very personalized. It's automatically, okay, you're not an AI, you're not some bot, you're a real person. It's going to connect you with them instantly. We also have this similarity. I saw that we're both in Houston. I saw that we're both in this networking group. I saw that we're both on LinkedIn. I saw that we have the same birthday. Some similarity to connect you with them, right? So again, separates you from the rest of photographers, right? And I was wondering if anyone you know would be interested. So you're not soliciting them, you're soliciting someone they know, right? I only have 2 slots available, so please don't hesitate to reach out. You're creating urgency, you're building that scarcity. I only have 2 slots available. So you only have 2 slots available. What does that say? What's the opposite of that? You have a lot of people on the back end. Even if you don't, it doesn't matter. They don't know that, right? So once they reach back out and say they're interested, schedule a call with them as quickly as possible. Say that this part you text, or you can send a voicemail, but I like to text it. Awesome. Since you said you're interested, would you be available to hop on a quick Zoom call today or tomorrow to talk about it and figure out the details? They're going to say yes. Give them 2 times you're available, and then send your Calendly link and tell them to book it, right? So let's talk about follow-ups, right? If you look in this, we're going to do some pictures here. We're going to read it, and then I'm going to show you the pictures. So if you look in the second picture, I sent a, hey, you there, with just a regular selfie. It reminds them you're not a robot or some AI, and that you are an actual person on the screen. It's important that you only allow them to view the photo once, so they think you just sent it, when really you could just use any old selfie, right? This is only to be sent. They don't respond to the first message within 24 hours. If they don't respond to this one, then move on. But this is only when you send the voice memo and then you send this follow-up, this one right here. Right, see, hey, you there? Sorry, I thought I was gonna sneeze. Okay, so yeah, so you reach out with this offer, with your story, right? Reach out with the story conversion of your core offer, or if you have like a Black Friday thing sale, you make a flyer for that. So if you have like a Black Friday flyer, or if you have a core offer, like a discount, or like a mini session that you're doing, little lead magnet, start with that. Do the voice memo. If they don't respond, then send this, and then if they don't respond to that, just move on, right? So here's an example message. Hey, Danielle, I saw that you're also a student at Pitt. Back when I was a student at Pitt, and you're also Greek. So you're like in a sorority or a fraternity, just like I was. And I was wondering if you'd like to get your grad photos done. I currently only have 2 spots available for grad photos. So if you or anyone you know is interested, please let me know. Thank you. Right. Awesome. I have time tonight at 6 p.m. This is what I mean by giving them 2 times, right? So you don't even add, like, it's just awesome. I have you just assume that they want to hop on the phone with you, right? When they say yes, this one, because that way, not only like it just moves the process a lot smoother. If one time doesn't work, you always have another time. It's a lot easier than saying, okay, when are you available? It keeps the control, keeps the ball in your court. It keeps the control in your hands. Also, on time tonight at 6 p.m. tomorrow at 6 p.m., which works best for you, right? If they do follow-ups, so if at any point they respond or they like or they if they like this message but don't say anything, that's when you start doing a lot of follow-ups. Right? So follow up at least 3 to 5 times. The money is in the follow-ups. I cannot tell you how many people I would have thought I lost unless I followed up with them. Like following up is what's gonna show people that you care, right? Because they're like, if they're following up with me this amount of times, and they must really care about what they're doing. They must really be trying to help me, right? So here's some follow-up messages I like to use that work really well. Dang, name, did I say something to offend you? Hey, name, you still with me? Hey, name, hey, everything all right, name? Dang, I thought we could have been friends. You ghost me. You could send a gift. You just get creative with it, right? You just want to get them to open the message up, right? And if they block you, so what? At least you were trying to help them. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, if you don't annoy someone with your outreach, you're not doing it right, right? So just get creative. Try to get people to book with you as much as possible, and you should be solid. Am I still recording? Yeah, and you should be solid. Anyways, warm, solid, warm, semi-cold outreach. Now, the reason I say this is semi-cold because this only part. Okay, so the reason I said this part is warm / semi-cold outreach is because this only pertains to people who have already engaged with your content. So they already are somewhat familiar with you already, right? So they're going to be less reluctant to book with you because they sort of already trust you. Especially if they follow you, that means they sort of trust you to some extent, right? So you reach out to them, you say, hey, name, thanks for engaging with the content, following me, etc., whichever one they did. I really appreciate you being a part of the community. Quick question: Were you or anyone you know looking to get an X photo shoot done? So a graph photo shoot done, a branding photo shoot done, a family photo shoot done, a birthday photo shoot done, whatever, right? Any positive response? Okay, awesome. When were you looking to get that shoot done by? If it's soon, like a week to a month, then you can schedule a call. If it's in the future, you can tell them, okay, I'll hit you up around that time. Or, I mean, you can say, hit me up around that time, but you're going to hit them up, right? You want to keep everything in your control. You don't want to leave any variables that you can't control. So just tell them, okay, if it's in the future, then I'm getting a lot of bookings at that time. So I can't guarantee that you'll have a spot. If you want to talk about it now, then we can totally talk, but that's fine too. You can try and build some scarcity or urgency, but I just like people that know when they want to get their shoot done and their shoot is going to be soon, right? So let me get back into the course here. So I'm going to use Stephanie as an example, right? So she didn't really know what she was doing with her outreach. She didn't really know what she was doing with her content in general. I showed her how to reach out to people. I showed her, where and what kind of people to look for. And so her DMs were very casual and unstructured, and a lot of people would ghost her when she would drop the price. So she used the inbound script. She qualified in her first message, and she narrowed down her messaging, meaning she narrowed down who exactly it was that she was talking to. In result, she got 3 booked calls in her first day using the script. And another thing I want to show you before we even move on. So I want to show you something. So if you go to say you want to shoot like a group of people, right? Instead of looking for those group of people, like say you want to shoot like entrepreneurs or something, right? So you can look up like events that they would go to. You can go look up events that they would go to. Yeah. And another thing, right? So if you want to take photos of a certain group of people, right? Say you shoot entrepreneurs and business owners and all these cool people that have money, right? If you want to do that, don't just look for their individual profiles. Look at where they hang out. So this is the Black Moms. This is what I was telling Stephanie to do, right? This is the Black Moms Fair in Dallas, 2025, right? Obviously a hub of entrepreneurship and sponsorship and just Black excellence, right? So if these are your ideal clients, find groups like these on Instagram. Go through their following. Go through the following. See who follows them. See who they're following. Look at all of these people, right? All of these people, right? So if you see Tatiana Eiley, Urban Luxury Bar, if you want to shoot this person, follow them, shoot them a message, right? You don't even have to say, oh, and if you have a friend later, you can be like, hey, I met you at this event. Or if you didn't, you could just be like, hey, I love your work. I love what you're doing for the community. I'm a branding photographer and I have a couple ideas for how it could improve your brand. But would you be interested in just talking about it? Or just hopping on the phone and discussing it sometime? They'll be like, yeah, sure. Right? Right. But again, look, the working mama coach, right? Another potential client right there. Guiding Hope and Counseling, right? Potential client right there. Hamada Healing Center, right? Another potential client right there. Find where they hang out and exploit that, right? Reach out to all these people. These are 1,595 leads, right? That you could use for your business. Let's go back to percent. And yeah, I hope that helped. But here's I know a lot of people have certain qualms about cold outreach, right? So I'm just gonna get rid of that right now, right? So you can be like, oh, I'm scared of being pushed in the DMs. If you're broke, it should not matter. You should have no shame, right? You should be calling, you should be texting, you should be going to events, networking events, you should be talking to people one on one. If you want your business to work, this is how. It's just marketing. Marketing, as I like to call it, is just letting people know about your product or service. Your competitor is probably doing it, and that's why they're beating you. Just simply not because they're better than you, but because more people know about them, and they know something that you don't, and this is what they know that you don't, right? So you should have no shame to reach out to people. If you like, I hate when people reach out to me. Okay, but if they could help you solve a problem, then you wouldn't be too bothered about it. And what's the worst that can happen? They just don't open your message. Okay, then you move on with life and you get more clients. That's literally the worst that can happen, right? So what if they ask for my price and complain? You could have in the script, in the sales script, and I'm about to show you in the next module. There's ways that you can go about pricing or pricing objections itself, but it doesn't matter, right? Your price is your price. Stick to it. It's that price for a reason. If you want to value yourself, if you want other people to value, you have to value yourself first, and there's no other way around that, right? And there's no complaining about I don't know how to find people. I just showed you how to find people. You can use local hashtags. You can use who your competitor is following, venue tags, simple searches, right? I literally just showed you one simple account can give you 1,500 prospects that you can reach out to today, right? I think Instagram only allows maybe 50 DMs a day, but still, you know what I'm talking about. 50 people. If you reach out to 50 people every day this week, I promise you your business would look different. Imagine you did that for the month. Now imagine you did that 3-6 months in a row. I promise you your business would look different, right? So that's just what I want to say about cold outreach. It's going to be discouraging in the beginning because, maybe people aren't reaching out to you or they're not giving the response that you're looking for. But okay, so this is pillar 5, sales and closing, right? So this is going to be a very, very important module. If you're going through where people are kind of just hitting you up to like nickel and dime you, or, you see a bunch of tire kickers just looking for the cheapest price, or, you drop the price in your DMs and you never hear from them again. This module is going to solve all of that, right? So it would behoove you to pay attention, right? But what is a step? A simple, repeatable sales conversation that removes doubt and smoothly converts DMs and or discovery calls into paid bookings, right? So why is this critical? A weak closing process loses sales. Many photographers get inquiries but can't convert. So you know how many photographers I've spoken to? They'll be like, I get maybe 5 to 10 people hitting me up for a shoot each week, but I only close 2 of them, right? So imagine you got 10 people a week, and instead of closing 2 of them, you closed 8 of them. What would that do for you and your business, right? That's why this module is so important. And this is why having that closing process in place is gonna explode your business essentially, right? So what happens if you skip it? Your leads are gonna remain leads. They ghost you, or they'll say, I'll get back to you, and they never do. And I know you experienced that because that's exactly what I experienced, right? So here's how I fixed it. So we're just gonna go through this little sales script I made that showed me how to take someone through a conversation that then guided them into booking with me, right? So it takes a little practice at first to get it right, but once you do, it makes things so much easier, right? So, and everything, every script or something that I show you in this course will be in the description below. So just make sure to go check that out. But let's get into it. So when you get someone on a call, right, this is the process that I like to take them through to, sort of understand what they're looking for, when they're looking for, why it's so important to them, and essentially get them over that line of spending that money with me. So part 1, hey, name, build a little bit of rapport, 1 or 2 questions max. You don't have to do too much. How's your week going so far? Where are you calling out of? How you been? This and that, right? Nothing too crazy. Awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to chat today. If it's cool with you, ready to just dive right in? Okay, cool. And then part 2, you always want to set the frame for what the conversation is going to look like, right? You need to take control. If they take control of the conversation, they're not going to trust you. They're not going to take you seriously, right? So here's how I like to take control. Hey, let me just tell you a little bit about how this call is going to go. I like to start by asking a few questions about what it is exactly you're looking for, your ideas, what inspired you to reach out, and everything like that. And then if it sounds like I can help you, and if it sounds like it'll be a good fit, I'll walk you through exactly what I offer, how it works, and how and how we can make this vision real. Sound good? And they'll say yes, right? So that's how you set the frame. Now, part 3, this is the most important part of the sales call. Forget about the objections for a second. Forget about anything else. If you don't feel like you can help them, if you don't feel like what you offer is a solution to their problems, then it doesn't matter, because then you're just kind of wasting your time and they're wasting their time, right? So these questions are important because they dig deeper into why these photos are so important, how, and how, and you're going to bridge your offer as the solution to getting them what they want, right? It's going to build that gap, that pain of of them not having those photos and what it means to them, right? So let's just start here. Why now? Like, why, and what made this feel important to you? Like, why not 6 months in the future? Why not a year from now? Why not 2 years from now? Why now? What makes you want to do this now? Right? And what's so important about this to you, right? If you could fast forward to see the finished photos, what would you feel? You want them to feel the emotion of having these photos, of showing them to their family, their kids, their mom, dad, brother, right? What would you want others to feel, right? Mom, dad, brother, if they want to use it for LinkedIn headshots, if they're an entrepreneur and they're dropping a book, or they're using these for their website, what do they want their clients to feel like? What do they want their potential customers to feel like when they see these photos, right? That's what you're getting them in the mood for. Are there any specific locations or backdrops or vibes you're envisioning? Have you done a shoot like this before? Will it be just you, or are you bringing friends, family, or anyone else? This question is good because if they are planning to bring someone else, you can let them know that there's an additional fee for added people. That's up to you, depending on what it is that you charge and how you charge for it. Do you have, again, getting them in that emotional buying state, right? By, including props or things that mean a lot to them. And once you have the photos in hand, how do you imagine using them? Framed on the wall, gifts, social media, something else. When I was doing graduation photos, I like to use this question for potential upsells in the future, right? So like 9 times out of 10, people always said they wanted them printed out and framed, or their parents were going to do it. So I would remember that. And then when I delivered the photos, I'd be like, hey, I know you said you wanted them printed. I could take care of that for you just for an additional XYZ price, right? And then if this all sounds alike, if they want to do it now, if they want to book with you, if you like their answers, then and only then do you transition to the offer. It's okay to say, you know what, I don't think I can help you. I don't think you're looking for. I don't think I'm the photographer that you're looking for. I can recommend you some other people, but I don't think I can help you. It's totally fine to say that. You never want to be in a scarcity mindset with clients. Like, it's okay to turn people away. You only want to work with clients that want to work with you, and you can get the result for it. Because if you don't, if you feel like you can't help them, or you over deliver, if you over promise and under deliver, it's just going to be a disaster for you and the client. So never be afraid to turn someone down. But anyways, transitioning into the offer, right? So you'll be like, thanks for sharing all that. Now that I got a clear picture, I really do think I can help you, and I think you'll be a great fit. Are you ready to hear what I have to offer? And then that's when you go into your story. I'm going to include another bonus module about how to write your pitch, so that way it's more like a story, right? Because you don't want to ever just pull up a screen and just list the features of your offer. Like, okay, 2 outfits, 2 locations, studio shoot, prints, like, people don't want a list. They want a story of what exactly is going to happen, when it's going to happen, and how it's going to happen, right? So I'm going to show you how exactly you can do that. But after you do the pitch, you want to stay silent and be like, how does that sound? They're like, okay, do you have any questions before we move on to the price? They're like, no. What's the next step, right? This is essentially what you're looking for, right? Anything that indicates they like what you have and they want to move forward, and you just drop the price and say, we could do take debit or credit, which one works best for you, and you click the details, and then it goes like that. If something goes wrong, if they're not the sole decision maker, if there's a little out of their price range, if they maybe don't like something in the offer, they don't think you can deliver, you're going to get an objection, right? So that's what this is. Obviously, the discovery part is for preventing objections as much as possible, but nobody's perfect. And if you're just starting this out, if you've never done this before, you're going to start getting objections. So objection 1, we're just going to go through them. I'm going to show you how to respond to all of them and how to take care of all that, right? So objection 1, I can't afford that, right? Totally. So here's how I like to go about it. Totally get that. And let me ask you this: like, money aside, would you do it? They're gonna say, yeah. He's like, okay, why? Like, what would these photos do for you? And they're gonna say, oh, like, I'll be able to get on LinkedIn, or I'll be able to, put them on my book, or I'll be able to show them to my family and my future kids. Okay, cool. Well, I mean, if it's just price, I never want investment to be the sole reason why someone did invest with me. But with that being said, I do have a couple options that can give you some flexibility depending on the payment options that you want to choose. Would that help you? Would you be able to? Would it help you if I walked you through those? And I'm like, yeah, of course, right? Then next, objection 2, I need to think about it. This is a very common one. And you need to realize nobody gets off a call and then goes sits in the corner and genuinely thinks about it, right? So you have to get past whatever this is till they get to the real objection, right? So I like to be like, okay, yeah, I guess that's not a problem. I guess what was it that you were maybe wanting to go over in your mind for when we do talk again? All right. So when you say for when we do talk again, you're lowering their guard. So okay, he's about to let me off the call. I can just tell him what I really feeling. Right. When we talk, and when you talk in a confused tone, you're talking like, oh, I've never really had it. Like you're making them feel weird for even needing to think about it. You know what I'm saying? So tonality, especially in this whole process, is a very, very important. You can get two completely different answers based for the same question based on your tonality, right? So after whatever they say after you say this is going to be the real objection, right? So if it's going to be money, it's going to be, oh, it's just a little out of my price range, or oh, I just need to talk to this person. I just did it, right? That's going to be the real objection. So objection 3, I need to ask my dad, talk to my partner, wait a bit. This one you can even prevent by like when you do your contact form or your Calendly, you can ask if they're the sole decision maker, right? And then by doing that, that's how you're going to be able to prevent this objection from even coming up in the first place, right? So response, of course, you should absolutely take your time, make the right decision. I 100% encourage that, just so I understand, is it more about the timing, the investment, or making sure it's the right fit? They're like, oh, it's this and that. Or you can also say, okay, well, like when you go talk to him, right? Because you know him 10 times or them 10 times better than I do. What would, like, if he had to object to anything about this offer, like, what do you think he wouldn't like the most? If you just had to pick anything, and then they're usually say the price, or they're going to say something about the offer, and then you can dive into that a little bit more, right? And then if it is about the price, you can be like, I don't like to get them off the call, right? You can be like, if there's really something you're excited about, you just need to take time to talk things through. I can hold your date for 24 hours and then answer questions that might come up in the meantime without a deposit. If you want to say, you can be like, I usually, if you want to schedule a follow-up meeting, you do have to put in like a $20 deposit for just to hold your spot for the next time, because I am a very busy person and I need to make sure that you're fully committed. You can do something like that, or you can just, let them off the spot. But I don't like letting people off the spot without some type of commitment, right? And that's what money is. Money is commitment. So, and then question 4, can you do a discount? This one, you need to stand firm on this, because your price is your price, and it's your price for a reason, right? You put a lot of time into your work, into your packages, and we don't do discounts around here, right? Unless it's like a mini session, or you're doing a little giveaway, or it's like this and that. Avoid discounts at all costs, right? It's either free or it's full price. That's always my thought process, right? So response, firm but kind, like, okay, what's behind that? Like, why do you ask that? Okay, so do you feel like the value isn't truly there, or do you just have a hard time coming up with the upfront investment, right? And then you can say that. If they say the value is not there, you can ask them, okay, why? What do you feel like it's missing? And then you can get into that. If they say, I just can't really come up with the investment right now. You're like, okay, well, again, if budget is concerned, I always like to throw in a little joke, like, I don't want any of my clients sleeping under a bridge, or I don't want them, doing this and that, or like, not being able to eat. I do have a couple of payment plans. If we were able to look into that, would that help you move forward today? Yeah. Okay, perfect. Let's do that. And then get the deposit on the call. Okay, I'll lock your spot in. And then while they're sending details over, okay, you can ask them, what are you excited for, right? So they affirm to themselves what they're excited for in the package and why they're excited to work with you. Then you can send over the next steps, and we'll get started on creating, bringing your vision to life. So if they're unsure, do other objections they might have, but know when to give up, know when they don't want to book with you, right? There's again, it's okay to turn people down. It's okay to say no. It's okay for them to not be a good fit, right, at the end of the day. But other than that, let's get back into the course a little bit. Okay, so what to look for? Fast, clear decision making. You want people to really, when your answers, you want people to really get into your answers, like deep. Like, you don't want vague, like, yeah, no, maybe. Like, you don't want one word responses. You want people to tell you like how they would really feel if they worked with you. You want to look for the use of deposit to secure booking. This is commitment. Anything other than this, I saw a post the other day. It was like, if we talked about a photo shoot and you didn't send a deposit, all we talked about was your hopes and dreams. And that's so real, because literally all we talked about was your hopes and dreams. We don't do that over here. We do commitment and commitment only, right? So then objection handling ready, you can use the sample scripts that I provided. What to avoid: long, rambling discovery calls. It's good to let the prospect talk. It's good to let them get in their emotional bag. But if they're getting off topic and talking about something completely different, it's okay to stop. Like, you could just be like, okay, I want to stop you right there, because you just mentioned something really important a little earlier ago. Or, okay, like, it's okay to cut them off, like if they're talking about something completely random and nonsensical, right? And then leaving the next step ambiguous. Bam, fam, book a meeting from a meeting. So you never want to get off the call and not know when you're going to talk to this prospect again, right? So always, 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 if you do a scheduled call, or if you're doing an onboarding call, which I recommend, always have that onboarding call scheduled Okay, so I know I'm giving you guys everything that you need to succeed in this video, right? But I also know that a lot of times I get questions like, Matt, this is amazing, but I still need help implementing this, or I have a couple questions, or I want to implement this with someone by myself to help speed up the process so I don't have to go through the trial and error of, trying on myself, failing, trying again, failing, failing, trying again, failing, right? I'd rather just speed up the process and get the results right away. How exactly can I do that? Or where would I go for that, right? Well, if that's you, you can go to the description of this video. The first link will take you to a direct conversation with me on Instagram. Just send me the keyword photo and I'll know that you came from this video and you're looking for some help. And my team and I will have a conversation with you. We're going to see where you're at. And if it makes sense, we'll possibly, talk about what it looks like to work together. The second link in the description is just going to be to book a call directly, right? You're going to fill out a quick application to get on the phone with my team to see if and how we can help you implement this faster. But for now, let's just keep going because I've got a whole lot more to cover, right? All right, so this is the last module of the course, right? This is also a super important module because everything is consistency, right? It's consistency and scaling systems, right? So what you need to track everything, how you should be tracking it, what you should be tracking, and realizing that everything is just consistency. You probably heard it a million times. You're going to hear it a million more times, right? But it's true. Like, it's literally true. You can't send 50 DMs one day of the week and ignore the other six and be like, why am I not getting results? Why am I not getting any new clients? Right? This has to be an everyday thing. And on the other side, you can't post like 3 times a week and ignore the other 4 days of the week and be like, why is this person that's posting every day getting more clients than me? It's just a matter of volume, right? Volume negates luck, right? So the more, if you want consistent results, you have to have consistent inputs and you'll get consistent outputs, right? So that's what we're going to talk about in this chapter. So what this step is, operational systems that keep your machine running. So batching, content, scheduling, key performance indicators, and simple scaling rules so growth is repeatable and not chaotic. Why it's critical, growth without systems collapses. You're going to burn or lose quality and not be able to show up for your clients the way that you want to show up, right? And obviously nobody wants that. So what happens if you skip it? You're going to get a few wins, you're going to get a few clients in the door, and then you're going to go back to where you were before, right? And then you're going to be panicking because, rent is due or you got to pay this bill, then regress back to chaos, right? So consistency is going to solve all of this. You're going to have it's going to solve your missed sessions. When you have like 1,000 plus photos you need to edit and just unhappy clients overall. So one, weekly batching, reserve one afternoon to batch not even 2 weeks, just 1 week of content even, right? It shouldn't take more than 60 to 90 minutes, maybe 2 hours, depending on like the complexity of like what you're doing. But you can use Notion to track this, plus the Instagram Edits app to formulate and edit. Remember, consistent marketing is going to equal consistent results. The more consistently people see you and know you exist, the more likely they are to book with you, right? Then client workflow. So client or Pixie Set, what stages? They all have. I know Pixie Set has I think in their business manager where you can track the stages of each client. So from inquiry to qualified to deposit to shoot to edit to deliver. And then after they deliver, that's when you hit them with the follow-ups. That's when you can ask for the referrals and all that good stuff, right? So KPI dashboard, you can track how many DMs you sent, how many book shoots you have, how many no-shows didn't show up for your calls, and your revenue for that week or a month, right? You can use a simple Notion table. I used to use Google Sheets. That was working really well for me. I prefer Google Sheets if that's what works for you as well. Scaling rule, once you get consistently 8 to 10 clients per month, raise your prices 20 to 40%. Or once people are saying like yes way too quickly, or they're not even thinking about it, that's a good sign to raise your prices by like $50 or $100, right? And then once people start getting a little more hesitant, you want to go for a close rate of like 30 to 40 to maybe 50%, right? That's how you know you've hit the sweet spot with your price. But if you're getting 100%, 80, 90% people are saying, yeah, you should probably start raising your prices. Now, all right, that's everything I went over. You can implement this right now and start getting sick results. I've given you the complete roadmap, but here's the thing, right? If you want to speed this up, if you want that one-on-one implementation process, if you're a person who wants to take action right now and have things change for you right now, you don't want to wait another 8 years like I did to make this work. If you want to have results in just a couple of months instead of years of trial and error, here's what you need to do, right? Click the first link in the description below. That'll take you to my Instagram where you can send me the word photo and we can have a conversation. We'll go back and forth, see where you're at, see if it makes sense for us to work together one-on-one or whatever, anything like that. And then if you want to just skip the conversation and just get straight to the call, click the second link below, fill out the application and book a call with my team. We'll have a conversation and we'll see if we can help you get those 10 clients in the next 90 days. Hope this helped. Let me know if you have any questions. And yeah, hope you got everything out of it that was intended. I hope you take action. Remember, action is the most important thing. If you don't take action, nothing will change. You could consume all the content in the world. You sit there and do absolutely nothing, it won't matter. So go take action.